What is happening, everybody? Hello and welcome back to Total Blast, where we discuss about everything Marvel and the MCU. Recently, Disney CEO Bob Iger, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, and even Hulk actor Mark Ruffalo have made comments concerning Disney's Marvel Studios and how Disney Plus may not be the best option for them. As a result, Marvel Studios will be looking at some significant changes much sooner rather than later. And in a few days from now, a video about Captain America Brave New World will be released, revealing some of the script changes that have been made for the movie. It seems to have encountered many of the same difficulties and possibly even more issues than at the start of Phase 4, when Marvel Studios decided that it was far more crucial to expand the universe of characters and franchises, even stuffing them into post-credit scene, than it was to continually go back and connect these stories themselves. In an exciting new update for Spider-Man fans, at least one area of the MCU that fans are sure about is Spider-Man 4. Sony and Marvel Studios are getting along well. It appears that they've reached an agreement one more time for a significant event for Spider-Man 4, which is the highly anticipated announcement that Miles Morales will make his MCU debut. Before we go into all of the fun stuff, don't forget that we're still giving out a brand new PlayStation 5 on this channel. More on how to win at the end of this video. And if this is your first time, please subscribe and enable the bell notification so you don't miss out on subsequent videos. From Marvel Studios, Disney Plus got off on a pretty good start. WandaVision was our first tool, and in addition to the release of other popular culture shows like The Mandalorian, which was also a huge hit, we also had Loki. Nevertheless, we would eventually receive some bad shows because of Marvel Studios' enormous catalog of Disney Plus series. Bob Iger and Marvel Studios fear that the sheer volume of Disney Plus shows have caused a substantial drop in quality. It seems that Marvel Studios will not be producing any more live-action series after 2025. Instead, they will be concentrating more on their films, which is a fantastic news, but they will also be working on an animated project alongside. And this makes sense because the team needed to produce live-action programs and movies are practically the same team most of the time. However, the crew needed to produce an animated program is different. And as a result, producing an animated series won't really take much of the team producing a live-action film, but producing a film or a television show calls for a larger crew and greater focus. We already know that the annual retreat held by Marvel Studios had a very different tone. Usually, there is a very relaxed, happy atmosphere, but this year, the main focus will be on how they can improve the MCU. How do we get over the last few years that we have passed? Bob Iger has held back in revealing that Marvel has a new plan which involves some changes. The following are his remarks during Disney's first quarter of 2024 earnings call. He said, "One of the things that I've been saying before is that the volume sometimes can determine the quality. In our zeal to greatly increase volume, partially tied to wanting to chase more global subs for our streaming platforms, some of our studios lost its little focus. So, the first step we've taken so far is we've reduced volume. We've reduced output partly at Marvel." In fact, Bob Iger and Kevin Feige have been discussing this for some time. However, what does this actually mean for Marvel Studios? A recent report by Daniel RPK says, Marvel is not developing too many live-action shows at the moment. They're going to be focusing on animated stuff and live-action movies. The next live-action show we'll get to hear from them will be more grounded. Thus, the Disney Plus series will be less more frequent after 2025, and it will consist of individual stories centered around some amazing characters. Examples of the tales are Moon Knight and Daredevil. However, they won't be extremely massive events. During the same first quarter 2024 earnings call, Bob Iger stated that, "We're very bullish about the films coming out. I'll say that we are leaning a little bit more into sequels and franchises, some that we feel great about, like Tony Stark is for instance. Obviously, Star Wars, Avatar, we've talked about them. Marvel is starting to focus on some of its stronger franchises going forward." Subsequently, he expressed his desire for people to leave their houses and go watch movies once they come out. He said, "I think that given the environment and given what it takes to get people out of their homes to go see these films, doing that, leaning on franchises that are familiar is actually a smart thing. So, we've got to do the work still." Now, in regards to a new character, a latest industry insider report that Marvel Studios is not done expanding, and in a few years, they intend to launch a new series including a whole new character that we've not yet come across in the MCU. Yes, within the next 24 months, a brand new superhero franchise character will join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you remember that Daniel RPK claims that is a new IP, a new superhero that we haven't yet seen in the MCU, that will have his own film franchise. And since they have only 2 years, that implies that they must write a script and cast the character, which may have already been done. We know this. We already know at some point of the story that the actor meeting with Marvel Studios and the titles that they've been exploring over the last 6 to 12 months. So, they need to get ready to shoot in 2025 next year. To narrow it down to a few, the first is obviously Ghost Rider. It has been reported severally by several industry insiders that in the end, they are working on a crossover team movie for the Midnight Suns within the next 3 to 5 years. Ghost Rider will be a member of the team whether it takes place before or after Secret Wars. In addition, Ryan Gosling confirmed that he had met with Marvel Studios within the last 2 months. When he was last questioned in public regarding Marvel Studios and the likelihood of him playing Nova, he stated that he had no idea, but he would much rather prefer to play Ghost Rider. And after it was announced that he had met with Marvel Studios, now we learned that a new superhero is suddenly getting his own franchise title, which they are developing and giving top priority to within the next 24 months. Now, if this isn't Ghost Rider, then the second likely scenario is Nova, a character about whom rumors have been bubbling about for the past months or so, having been dormant from years ago. Within the sudden changes being made with Marvel Studios and Disney+, Marvel is still uncertain about what to do with Nova, whether to make it a film or a show. And finally, some Spider-Man news. It stands to be seen if Marvel Studios will succeed in persuading Sony that Spider-Man 4 should be a more realistic superhero movie, or if Sony will actually push Marvel Studios to make a massive multiverse movie. Sadly, it doesn't appear that Miles Morales' involvement genuinely validates or contradicts to any of the potential story points for Spider-Man 4, because Spider-Man 4 may debut Miles Morales in 2 different ways. But it appears that we may have some idea of what Marvel Studios has in store for Spider-Man and Miles Morales in the MCU going forward, both before and after Secret Wars, related to another rumor regarding Miles Morales in the MCU. And it appears that Miles Morales will play a significant role in Marvel Studios and Sony's larger goal for the MCU, that is, not in Sony's Spider-Verse. Miles Morales will make his debut in Spider-Man 4. There are plans after that. Let's wait and see how he might appear in Spider-Man 4. There are 2 possible entries for Miles Morales into the MCU. One is that Spider-Man 4 is just another Spider-Man universe movie if Sony gets their way. Miles Morales might be a variant, but this option is less likely. The second scenario might be that since Miles Morales has been a part of the MCU for quite some time, he has to meet Peter Parker. That's how we'll introduce him. In response to a question about the release date for live-action Miles Morales movie, Amy Pascal recently stated that 2 other movies must first be made. She was referring to Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 4 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This makes sense because we already know that Spider-Man 4 will introduce Miles Morales to the MCU. Naturally, they must wait for his introduction before releasing Miles Morales' film of their own. And now, before we go, let's head back right to our giveaways, because we are still giving out a brand new PlayStation 5 on this channel to one lucky subscriber once we hit a milestone of 1,000 subscribers. And all you have to do to win is watch our videos, like, subscribe and turn on your post notification, and one lucky subscriber will be chosen from the comment section to win our brand new PlayStation 5. Also, want to say thank you to everyone who has ever supported us this far. We truly appreciate it. What are your thoughts about this video? Do you think that it's a good idea that Marvel is scaling back on their Disney Plus shows? And how excited are you for a Miles Morales debut in the MCU? Please, don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe and turn on the post notification so you don't miss out on any of our latest Marvel news. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one.